Hello, everyone. So we are talking to a medical doctor, an internal medicine MD, to talk about how plant-based diet can help with obesity. Dr. Adkins is here with me, and welcome, Dr. Adkins, and tell us, how plant-based diet can help.
Yes, so thank you for having me today. And a lot of people struggle with being overweight or obese. And as you have mentioned, also throughout the US and through the world, like it's just continuing to get worse as the years go on. And that's more because people are eating, what we call a SAD diet or the standard American diet. Which is full of fast food, processed foods, lots of added sugar, and lots of added salt. And so we're seeing, like I said, obesity just going rampant, not only in adults, but in children. And so we are looking at ways we can actually reverse this for a lot of people. So I talk a lot about plant-based nutrition for our patients that are overweight and may have other chronic illnesses such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, things like that, because obesity is a major risk factor for all those illnesses, right? So most people are like, okay, what exactly is a plant-based diet? And does that mean I'm just going to be eating like salads and carrots all day? So I usually tell them, no, that's not the case. There's a lot of nutritious foods in a plant-based diet. So the main focus is actually fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, okay? So you think about that. There's many different types of vegetables that people can eat in different ways. So when you actually eat the vegetable, you want to eat them whole. So you don't want to necessarily have French fries. You want to eat like roasted potatoes, or you can actually make your own mashed potatoes or a baked potato, right? So those things are healthier than actually frying it and eating it whole and unchanged and not adding a lot of oils to your food or adding a lot of salt to your food. So most people are like, okay, so if I eat just vegetables, then what else am I going to eat? But like I said, you can have whole grains, legumes, which most people are like, legumes, I never heard of that word. But those are like your lentils and peas. So you can make several different meals from those things, okay? And there have been a lot of studies that actually have shown that plant-based diets, which actually, when you think about back earlier, before there was a lot of processed foods that you ate straight from the farm. And so if you look at the people that eat that way, they actually have traced those people and they have less obesity in their families, and then go on to have less incidences of like the heart disease and diabetes, like I was discussing before. So this is not just some, fad diet that's been out to advertise to get people to jump on the bandwagon. This has actually been proven over decades of research and actually following different groups of people over the years, okay? So it's very easy to actually start plant-based eating. You can actually just start adding vegetables to every single meal. And that's usually what I tell people to do, because it's not about necessarily taking away your meat or your processed foods. It's actually adding in those healthy, nutritious foods that you actually need. Because a lot of people think that if they just, okay, I don't eat meat, which I can give myself as example, actually became a vegetarian at the age of 16, that I would go from not eating meat, but I would still go to McDonald's and have a Big Mac with no meat and French fries. That's not healthy at all, right? So we actually need to add in our fresh fruits and vegetables. So a big salad is usually what I tell people to add in with their lunch, where you can eat a lot of vegetables such as peppers and carrots and celery and beets and all sorts of different things to make it very colorful. And if you do different colors, that actually makes it very tasty, because a lot of people are also worried about the taste of their plant-based foods and thinking that they're not actually going to eat food that tastes good. They think it's going to be cardboard and they're going to be bored and they're going to go back to eating their other foods that's full of sugar and salt.
Okay, so that's a really good point. But the thing is, in a society where we are living, we are all accustomed to SAD diet. how do you start weaning off from there, right? I'm not trying to propagate that we stop going to McDonald's and the chickens and all that stuff, but the thing is, how do you start taking a society away from going from a sad diet to something that you're propagating? Is it like slow by slow process? How do we do that?
Yes, so everyone is different. And so for some people that may not have all the chronic illnesses, then they can actually go slowly. So like I said, just add in, fruits and vegetables to every single meal. And people will actually start to feel different. That's how you actually get their buy-in. At first, it's like, okay, doc, yes, I'll do this. But when they actually start to feel better, they're not as tired, their joints aren't hurting as much, they don't have headaches, they are sleeping better. So it's not just the weight loss, because they'll see the weight loss and then they're like, okay, but I actually have energy to play with my kids, or I actually have energy to do extra work at the office and not feel like I'm just dragging, just try to get through the day and have to drink that extra cup of coffee at 3 p.m. So people actually feel the difference and therefore will stick with the changes. Even though the fast food is quick, then they'll start to feel sluggish again if they go back to eating that way. So it's like once they started, they're like, okay, I don't want to go back to the way I was feeling because I didn't realize how bad I felt, and I actually feel better and I want to continue on.
Okay, and then let's talk a little bit about the science behind. You mentioned that you feel sluggish after you eat fast food. Could you talk about a little bit on the science on why we feel sluggish when we eat fast food and why we feel better, like you said earlier, when we eat mostly plants? What are the compounds in each one of them that when they go into our bodies, what do they start doing?
Yeah, so when you eat those types of foods and it's just full of fat and sugar, there's no type of nutritional value. And so your body is just trying to figure out what to actually do. And so it's like, it's just going almost like in circles. So it's like, okay, I don't know what to do, and I'll just push this over here and I'll store it as fat. And then if you actually feed the body, so just like putting fuel in a car, when you actually do that, you actually can get the energy out of the cells. So if you eat fast food, then your body starts to become what we call insulin resistant, and then you'll start to store more fat. And then it just goes in a vicious cycle. So you'll store more fat, you'll become more insulin resistant, you'll store more fat, and you'll actually feel more tired. That's when you actually develop diabetes. You also can develop more inflammation in your actual arteries. And then that can build up to heart disease and actually how you're feeling more sluggish. So it's just several different chemical reactions that can go on when we don't eat those actual foods that are healthy for us.
And then what do the plants do? Like what kind of compounds do the plants have so that we start feeling so energetic?
So they have different phytonutrients that our body actually needs to actually energize the cell. So there's different things in each different one. So that's why we actually tell people to eat a different variety of colors of foods, so that actually can help your body actually know what to do with certain plants when you eat them.
Okay. All right. So this is a quick 10-minute session with MD, internal medicine. It's not a medical advice. It's just an educational session to talk about how plant-based diet can help us at the cellular level. And that's what Dr. Adkins is propagating, that how it starts making difference to our well-being, whether it's mind, body, and soul. We will see the difference. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up this session?
I would just encourage people to actually try to eat more fruits and vegetables at every meal, because it just starts as something simple as that, and you will actually see how you feel better, and then you would just take it from there. So it's not a leap, it's just a small step.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And so the bottom line is, every time we eat, just eat a piece of carrot or piece of pea or something, whatever your favorite vegetable is, and see if you feel better. And try to switch into the plant-based diet even 1 or 2 days a week, and see how much difference it makes to you. That's what we are talking about: holistic medicine, natural medicine. And thank you everyone for your support. And thank you, Dr. Adkins, for being with us and helping us propagate this message across.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Thank you.